Hi, you guys. Welcome to day 17 of Chiari Malformation Awareness Month. I told you he was going to be back, and here he is. No, we're not recording this on the same exact day we recorded the last one, but that doesn't matter.
Oh, am I being kidnapped?
Yes, you're being
Okay.
kidnapped.
Well, that sucks.
Alright, so last time we talked about how it was before my surgery and during my surgery. What we're going to talk about today is my brother was there for my junior and senior year of high school. He was a freshman and sophomore. And I went back to school my junior year after being sick all summer. And he remembers very vividly what having that year out where I was sick and coming back into it was like for me. So I'm going to let him talk a little bit. What do you initially remember about me when my first week back at school when I first went back?
You almost seem lost. There would be a lot of looking around.
I felt misplaced. I
Like,
felt out of place.
who are my friends still? Who has gone past me? What teachers still remember me? What teachers really care?
Yeah.
Uh, I know what helped you was one teacher who I
Hmm.
will not name, but she was a big help to you.
Yeah, I had a teacher who was very nice. Ironically enough, she wasn't even my teacher. Uh, I never actually had her as a teacher, but she was a big help in getting me settled back in because when I did go back to school, I felt very misplaced. I felt like everybody else's life had kept going and mine had stood still. And see, he saw all of that. He saw my life stop while everybody else's around mine kept going. And I had a lot of issues over my sophomore year after my surgery, drama with exes and things like that is just not worth talking about and is definitely not going to be aired out on YouTube. um,
Yeah, we need to not put that here.
but it was a lot, and trying to go back into that was hard. Um, I know one of your favorite things to say is I had a what's it called? I was sort of a steady person at our high school. People knew who I was. I had a name there.
She was very commanding. She demanded authority when she didn't technically have authority.
I was an ROTC cadet, and due to my rank, uh, I commanded respect.
So she was very polarized in the school before she left. There was the people who hated her. One specifically with a cowboy hat, and there was a bunch of people who loved her for the kind of guardian act she had.
I protected people. I took care of people who couldn't take care of themselves. Was kind of my job.
Specifically, there was one guy who really picked on you.
There was, but once again, not something we're going into because that's outside of the Chiari span.
Yeah, sorry. But you you kind of picked that back up after you started to get recomfortabilized.
But at first, it was hard because when I went, what happened is these people who saw me as this strong protective force, who I basically created that for myself. Um, I suddenly
Well, here's the problem. You While you were gone, she was gone an entire year,
I was at school for a month.
and while she was gone, there were rumors, and there were a lot of them. And the people whom she wants to protect were abandoned. Half of them didn't even know where she went. It was the biggest rumor is that what was the biggest problem when she came back because people assumed that that was correct, even though it was absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of the loss because people were like, "So, what was it like? And what was it like with this, the rumor?" And
It
she,
was a rumor that I had cheated on my ex while I was sick. Just that's as much details we need to go into about that. But that was what the rumor was.
and they were like, "Why'd you do it? And why did you leave for so long? Where did you go? The rumor that was with that one was that she was at another school in that time.
Also, that I was pregnant. That I had been pregnant.
That was a weird group of rumors.
Yeah.
She was at another school cheating on her boyfriend at
Ex.
the time
Yeah.
while pregnant.
With that boyfriend's baby.
So, anyways,
So I went from being this
so people are
protecting
like,
light of like super good to all of a sudden I was shrouded in darkness, and all that had happened was I had gone out of school for surgery.
yeah. And so the first entire thing was she had to clear up her name. And that was the worst part because she had to get rid of her reputation as she did it. The reputation she claimed in her freshman year was gone as she admitted that she was broken.
Suddenly I couldn't be everybody's protector, especially yours, which is what I always claimed to be beforehand.
And people used that against her. Specifically one, but we won't get into him. It was used against her in a way to put her down, in a way to destroy that reputation and what she thought of herself.
And I was already having trouble with myself because I just was disaster. Do you remember? So, as I talked about in a previous video, Chiari Malformation is affected by barometric pressure changes. My junior year, I ended up in a wheelchair a couple times. Do you remember what that was like from your point of view, seeing me in school in a wheelchair?
It was interesting because at that point I had already gained a a reputation of strength, of
Mm-hmm.
cold hard strength, and because back then I was an edge lord. Uh, but the person who originally had a reputation like that was in a wheelchair, needing other people to push her around. And the few friends that remained, some of them still remain today. One specifically, who's her best friend.
You guys have seen her on here. It's Dollface Kelly. Uh, she'll be. I'll. You guys saw my video with her.
She stuck around, which helped a lot. That was the biggest thing that helped her out because so many of her friends left were done because she couldn't protect them anymore. So why should they care?
Well, Kelly actually graduated my sophomore year, but she also was the one who defended me while I was gone a lot.
And it was that kind of friendship that almost made her seem strong in while she was in that wheelchair, like defiant. I'm not weak.
But it was hard. It was hard for because once again, a reputation that I once had of being the protector suddenly
Was gone.
it was gone, and he had to take it on because it's just who he is. So the people I once protected were now being protected by him, when really I always thought to myself, oh, I have to protect him. Which was hard on me because you not needing me anymore was difficult on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Um, but it once I got to my senior year, things kind of evened out a little bit
She
because
her body was starting to get used to it, used to the changes, and she was able to withstand a lot more. She was able to walk around more, though she still couldn't do things like run or
I did have to leave ROTC.
jumping was hard. Anything
The stairs
physical
were hard.
exertion was difficult.
The stairs were hard.
She did get permission to use. There's an elevator at the school, and she did get permission to use that, which she did every once in a while when she was especially bad.
And I used a cane when I had to, which is sort of what I've
But
used now.
but because of how she put herself, it it was perceived as more of a I'm strong because I got through it and I continued to walk.
But it's also the fact that, and I know you used to hear the whispers too, when I did break down and I was in the wheelchair and when I did just have to give up. A lot of people didn't believe it because every other day I'd walk around like nothing had happened.
Oh wow, she and I'm actually quoting here. Oh wow, she's faking it just to get attention again. God, What a.
We don't curse on this channel.
Okay. What a B word.
Yes, so I got that often actually. I got told I was faking, and a lot of people with Chiari do. And how did that make you feel having to hear that said about me?
Well, you see, there's a lot of people I really wanted to punch. I'm stronger than I look.
He's a toothpick. Don't let him fool you.
Fight me.
1v1.
I have to knock you over and you'll have trouble getting back up. Don't even.
So, as you guys can see, even as a high school kid who had been out for a year, and they would say the stuff around him just to tick him off, by the way. My sickness then affected him in school because people would say bad things about me just to tick him off. So even while I was in school, people were still like, "Oh, there, she just wants attention." I suddenly went from being the protector to
Being a beggar.
yeah, and that was hard, and that was hard for you because you'd always seen me as this big protector person. Then you saw me completely break down while I was sick, and then you watched me be strong and push through it every day, and then you had all these other people saying I was doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So as you guys can see, I wasn't lying when I said that people literally do not believe us just because of the fact that we look normal. They will say
You
stuff.
see, you could get a broken knee, recover from it, and be walking fine, but you still get that pain forever.
Yeah, and it's very similar. Like I look fine. I look completely normal. If you look at him, you can't tell he has Asperger's. It's not something you can see.
You can tell he's mighty stupid though.
All right, you guys. So we will. I can't. We'll be back one more time this month, where we will be telling a story about something. What we went out recently to a theme park and what that was like. So I will see you guys soon. This is Caitlin signing off. I'll see you tomorrow.